I'm Anand Young, the director of the Henry M. Jackson School of International Studies. Welcome. Thanks to the generous support of Mr. and Mrs. Tateuchi, the school is the host of an incredibly prestigious lecture series that highlights global issues, especially pertaining to the United States and Japan. What makes tonight additionally momentous is the fact that the featured speaker is the Honorable Daniel Inoue, who for many of us on the mainland has always been and will always be our senator because of the principal leadership he has steadfastly provided in national and international issues and on any number of minority and diversity issues. Let me start out the evening by first inviting Dan Asher, who represents the Tateuchi family, to come up here.
On behalf of the Tateuchi Foundation, I'm pleased to also welcome you here today. Mr. and Mrs. Tateuchi have an association with the University of Washington that goes back a number of years. Only the most unavoidable of circumstances prevents them from returning to this beautiful campus for the 4th annual Tateuchi Lecture. The primary focus of the Tateuchi Foundation has been for quite a number of years now, and it continues to be, building bridges between the U.S. and Japan. The Tateuchis believe that better understanding will lead to an enhanced relationship between the United States and Japan, and that the University of Washington is perfectly positioned to lead the way in this endeavor. This evening's speaker has displayed a remarkable depth of skill, talent, and experience in understanding the close yet delicate relationship between the United States and Japan. In many ways, Senator Inoue actually embodies the complexity of that relationship. In addition to the pride he has demonstrated in his Japanese-American heritage, it is no accident that in Congress he so capably represents the state of Hawaii, those islands almost halfway between where we sit tonight and Japan. For all these reasons and many more, the Tateuchi Foundation is especially proud to have him as tonight's lecturer. We look forward to his thoughts and his insights. Mr. and Mrs. Tateuchi have also asked me to express their appreciation to President Emmert, Provost Wise, and their staffs for all the support that they've given to the Tateuchi Lecture. The Foundation is also grateful to Anand Yang and everyone associated with the Henry M. Jackson School for International Studies for all their hard work in attending to the myriad of details that go into an event of this magnitude. It will not go unnoticed by many of you that the Jackson School is named for another great senator and longtime friend of Senator Inoue's. I like to think that Senator Jackson would have appreciated and supported the goals of the Tateuchi Lecture and would have been especially pleased with the selection of tonight's lecturer. Thank you again for your attendance here today, and we hope to see you again on future occasions when together we can continue to explore these important issues. Thank you.
Before I cede the podium to Phyllis Wise, who will introduce the senator, let me offer just a few words about our distinguished provost, who has been with us only 18 months, but who has already had a profound and pronounced impact across the entire university and in the wider community, including through her leadership in making UW uniquely Washington and uniquely global. A former dean of the College of Biological Sciences at UC Davis, she is currently also a professor of physiology and biophysics, biology, obstetrics, and gynecology. Provost Wise, please.
It is my privilege to give you a little bit more detail about the senator, probably who really doesn't need any introduction. We're so pleased that he's here this evening. He has the distinction of being the third most senior senator in the United States Congress. He's amassed an incredible record of accomplishment, earning the distinction of the Medal of Honor while serving in the military. When Hawaii became a state in 1959, Senator Inoue became their first congressman, and then in 1962 was elected as their senator, serving his 8th consecutive term. He served the interests of his home state of Hawaii, but also of the whole United States. When a relatively young senator in 1972, he was launched into the limelight by serving in the Watergate Committee. Many of us probably remember his unbelievable questions that were piercing and incredibly helpful in that committee, and was also the chairman of the Iran-Contra Committee later on in 1987. He has quietly and yet firmly made his mark as a responsible legislator in so many different ways. He's the chairman of the Senate Defense Appropriations Subcommittee and has been able to focus on matters of national security. He is also pushing forward improved education and health care for children and for minorities in Hawaii as well as the rest of the United States. As chairman of the Senate Commerce Committee, Senator Inoue is once again playing the familiar role of leadership in grappling with some of our most complex problems. As a nation, we are incredibly fortunate to have a statesman of his caliber and position. As the university, we are indeed very honored and privileged to have him here this evening to present the Tachiuchi Lecture. May I now introduce Senator Inoue.
Thank you. I'm surprised that so many of you are here, because tonight is NCAA championship, and the Mariners are playing. By the way, what's the score? We won? Well, I'm here to share with you my thoughts on Japan-U.S. relations. I'm certain you realize that I'm of Japanese ancestry, born in Hawaii. My father was born in Japan. My mother was born on Maui. But as some of you may be aware, in 1924, the United States Congress passed a law stopping all immigration from Japan and also declaring that no Japanese national can be naturalized. And when my mother married my father, she lost her citizenship. But that law was repealed in 1952, which made it possible for my parents to vote for me. So here I am. U.S.-Japan relations began when the Black Fleet of Commodore Perry appeared in Tokyo Bay in February of 1854.